Okay, so I want to give you the basics of vectors. So, a vector is what? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like one of these. It's like a little line with an arrow on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's direction.
Okay, so it's not array, because array runs forever. And this thing is just a push from place to place. Okay, so really what I want you to think about a vector is it's a push. Okay, so this is a force. This is the amount of push I have to give something for it to go from here to there. Cool. So really what we're going to do is we're going to think about pushing little points around on the plane. Cool. So that becomes more useful if you think about a push as both a direction and what?
Amount.
Yeah, and kind of some sort of amount thing, which we're going to call magnitude. Basically to confuse the bejesus out of me. Okay? So you can either think about a vector as a little arrow, or you can think about it as a push, or you can think about it as a direction and a magnitude, and I would prefer if you had all three thoughts simultaneously. Probably a little bit much to ask, so we're going to go for a couple of thoughts. You can get that one and this one. That would be ideal. Okay? So let me give you some notation first off. So say that this point here was 0, 0, and this point up here was 1, 2. So this is the idea of moving from 0, 0 to 1, 2. So how would you think about that?
Pythagoras.
I don't know, give me some thoughts. Cool, that's a good way to think about that. This is like over 1, up 2. Okay? So if I want to denote over 1, up 2, there's a couple of ways I can do that. So one of the ways I'm going to do that is I'm going to literally take this guy, right, the point I ended up at from 0, 0, and I'm going to slap some different brackets on it. Okay, so fancy pointy brackets mean that this thing's a push, not a point. Cool?
Okay.
So this is the thing that pushes over 1, up 2, just like this is the point that sits at over 1, up 2. You guys cool with that? So this is the usual. Some books will flat drop these and just do regular brackets, and you'll have to sort out which things are points and which things are vectors. Your book, thankfully, doesn't do that. So they do pointy things when they mean a push, and they do round things when they mean a pull. You guys cool with this? Okay, so that's that. Here's another over 1, up 2. I'm going to think about this as 1 in the I plus 2 in the J.
Okay.
I know this doesn't mean anything right now. And the reason it doesn't mean anything right now is that I'm literally telling you what it means right now. Okay. So this I thing, that's really what? That's 1 unit over. You guys see that? So looking at this guy, I have 1 unit, 1 over. Right? I have 1 unit over. Over here, what have I got?
2 units up.
So the J part of that, right, this guy, that means 1 unit up. Right? And there's 2 of them. Yeah. So that's me thinking, all right, there's 1 unit over, 2 units up. You guys cool with this?
Would it be a different letter if it was a different direction?
Yeah, so I does over, J does up in 2-dimensional coordinates. If you add more dimensions, you add more letters, and they go in the kind of directions that they're associated with. So like, if we added a third direction that stuck out of the board, I would call that K. And I would say, okay, I goes over, J goes up, K comes out of the board.
So if it was down, would it be negative 2j?
Perfect. And if I was going down, right, I'd do minus, right, because I'd be doing anti-J's. You guys see that? So I sort of tricked you into doing vector addition here, but that wasn't my point right now. We'll do vector addition in a minute. You guys all good with this? So I've got two labeling schemes. I can put pointy brackets on it and say, okay, that's the over and the up, or I can label it J's and I's and J's and say these are the overs, those are the ups. Cool? Questions, things?